The sound of the shower shutting off was normal, ordinary, something I'd heard 1,000 times before. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, scrolling through my phone, pretending I hadn't been thinking the same thought for the last 3 days straight. She stepped out wrapped in a towel, her hair damp, the mirror fogged behind her. She looked relaxed, almost light. That was the part that hurt the most. How easy everything seemed for her while my chest felt tight every time she smiled at her phone. She noticed my expression immediately. "What's wrong?" she asked casually, reaching for her lotion. I didn't answer right away. I watched her hands, the way she avoided my eyes, the way she moved just slightly faster than usual. All the little things added up over time. Late nights, new passwords, that emotional distance you feel before you can explain it. "How long has this been going on?" I asked. She froze. Not for long, just a second. But that second told me everything. "What are you talking about?" she said, turning toward me, her voice careful. I stood up slowly. "Don't do that. Please don't make me say it out loud if you already know." She tightened the towel around herself. "You're imagining things." I shook my head. "I'm not accusing you of anything physical. Not yet. I'm asking how long you've been somewhere else while still standing next to me." Her eyes dropped to the floor. That silence was louder than any confession. She sat down on the bed, still wrapped in the towel, suddenly looking smaller than she had moments ago. "I didn't plan it," she said quietly. "It just happened." "When?" I asked. "A few months ago." "A few months." I felt my stomach sink. Birthdays, family dinners, quiet nights on the couch. All of it replayed in my head with a different color now. "Who?" I asked, even though part of me didn't want the answer. She hesitated. "Someone from work." Of course it was. It's always someone who understands you. Someone who listens without responsibility, without history, without consequences. "Did you tell him about us?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "Too much." That hurt more than I expected. The idea that our private struggles had become conversation material for someone else. That another man knew how she felt about me before I did. "Did you ever plan to tell me?" I asked. "I was scared," she said, tears filling her eyes. "I didn't want to lose you." I let out a hollow laugh. "You didn't want to lose me, so you started letting go without telling me?" She reached for my hand. I pulled it back gently. "I never touched him," she said quickly, like that would fix everything. "I know," I replied. "That's not why this hurts." She looked up at me then, really looked at me. "Then why?" "Because you stopped choosing me," I said. "Every day, in small ways, you chose not to talk to me, not to fight with me, not to fix things with me. You chose silence and someone else's attention." She broke down then. Not dramatically. Just quiet sobs, shoulders shaking. "I felt invisible," she whispered. "You were always tired, always busy. I didn't think you'd notice." I sat back down, suddenly exhausted. "That's the part you got wrong," I said. "I noticed everything. I just didn't know how to prove it without begging." We sat there for a long time. No yelling, no accusations. Just the truth sitting between us, heavy and uncomfortable. "I ended it," she said after a while, "before it crossed a line." I nodded. "That matters, but it doesn't erase what already crossed." "What do you want to do?" she asked softly. I looked around the room. Our room. Pictures on the wall. Clothes in the closet. A life built slowly, imperfectly. "I don't know yet," I said honestly. "Right now, I just need you to understand that trust doesn't break all at once. It cracks. And those cracks don't disappear just because you say sorry." She wiped her face. "I'll do anything." I met her eyes. "Then start by not minimizing this. Don't call it nothing. Don't rush me to forgive you so you can feel better." She nodded, swallowing hard. Okay. That night we slept on opposite sides of the bed. Not because we hated each other, but because closeness felt dishonest. Like pretending nothing had changed when everything had. Over the next weeks we talked more than we had in years, sometimes calmly, sometimes painfully. We uncovered things we had buried, resentments, expectations, loneliness on both sides. Some days felt hopeful, others felt fragile. But one thing was clear. That question I asked when she stepped out of the shower wasn't about catching her. It was about finally refusing to ignore my own instincts. Love doesn't always end with betrayal in the obvious sense. Sometimes it almost ends quietly, if you don't speak up in time.